I don't have an army of Sims to quench the thirst of the modern woman. I don't have a whole bunch of Sims, Russell Wilson types, cleanup type guys that I can march down to the church and say, here, you lovely ladies, I'm going to line you up. I'm going to assign you simp number 101. There's simp number 102, 3, 4, 5, whatever number. I assign them to these women to rescue them from many of the mistakes of the past. So I don't waste my time trying to be some bootleg Kevin Samuels wearing a suit and tie, talking to women and telling them about what 304s they are in terms of trying to save the community and save these women. Kevin Samuels, he went down. The women celebrated. Ice Cube came in and he tried to do the contract for Black America. What did the women say? What's in it for the Black women of America? The solipsistic nature of these women is the thirst that they have for what they want and what they desire, and the power that they seek cannot be cured by anybody sitting around on a panel arguing and talking to those women, unless you want to give yourself heart attack, stroke, diabetes, and whatever. They ain't listen to you. You're talking to the wall. But yet I see brothers every day, especially the bootleg Kevin Samuels type. Salute to you, brothers. I love you all. I'm not really casting any shade at you. But I understand they're trying to get the female audience. The female audience pays good money. But unless you're pandering, you have to make money off of women. You have to roll the men under the bus or deliver them Russell Wilsons. Either you're bashing these men, or you're giving them the watered down gospel to keep them paying that money on Sunday, or you're delivering them nice, clean cut, obedient, walking ATMs and cleanup men. And I have none of those things to offer these ladies. So ain't no point in me lecturing them about their actions and behavior to an extent where I'm trying to pretend like I'm trying to save them. No, I am trying to save the men, and that may trickle down to the women. Women respond to strength and power. That's why you see when they lost them food stamps benefits, I'm not talking about everybody else on, I know other people are on food stamps and whatever. When they lost those benefits, that was something in the Section 8, that's something that affected their life. Rhetoric and people beating up their jaws don't affect their life. They look at me, they look at the old bald-headed misogynists and these old black men, and they running their mouth, and they ain't paying attention to the shit I'm talking. But I can pour into the young men, the young black men, and I tell the young black men sometimes, get the hell out of that matriarchal community and stop listening to these old simps. I'm not talking about, there's a lot of masculine, respectful, masculine brothers that are married. Salute to you. I'm not talking about, there's some bunch of simp-ass, beta male, Mitch-ass dudes that are married to these hyena queens that are like this puppets. The women are like the puppet, have the strings, they're the puppet masters. And they come on here and they try to talk to men. And the conversation is always about how much of a loser that you guys are all day long. But they'll never really admit, in a free society where women and men have free choices, there must be equal accountability. Now, if you're talking about a patriarchal environment, then you can assign more accountability to men. But in an environment of free choices, where people can decide, women and men, and they've fought for it, to have that freedom and that power, they have a choice. This hands-made tale, ecclesiastic bullshit, and this religious stuff, you're not going to religious them into conforming to what you need unless you're offering them something of value that they desire. And most of that is a Russell Wilson type guy. When they get older, that's what they want. So let's stop playing this game, this circular game that I see being played on the internet. You don't have no superheroes to offer. So and again, for many of these guys, that's why you see the guys like Yada and Derek Jackson. And I used to be hard on these panda bears because, they be rolling brothers underneath the bus for real. But the truth of the matter is, if you're not a panda bear telling women how much, feeding them the emotional drug that they want, telling them what pieces of crap and what losers men are, the Scott Galloways of the world, you're talking to the wall. And that's what a lot of these brothers don't get. I get it. It makes money. Controversy sells. But I'm not here for that. I'm here to talk about men getting leverage and options in this world, men living life on their own terms, because I tend to be more of a libertarian mindset. And I start off the brothers with trying to rebuild their self-esteem, reclaim their masculinity. I start off with Ayn Rand, introduce them to a more of an objective lifestyle. So whatever they choose it on their own terms. I talk about relationship capitalism. Make yourself the best version of man you can be, and then you decide based on those who compete on a capitalistic basis. I don't care if your wife could be in Uganda somewhere, or even if you put yourself, and I talk about self-protection too, putting yourself in a legal framework where you protect yourself and the things that you work for hard in life. Because all of these people talking about ecclesiastic marriages and saving the community, you go listen to their advice and go marry one of these women, ain't none of them got your back when you find out that the woman, well, true nature comes out, which is a radical leftist feminist hyena type chick, and she ain't trying to be under your leadership. See, all things are tested in the distance. And at the end of the day, you look at the Acorn situation, look at all the situations, it becomes about money when these relationships fail. At the end of the day. So the laws matter. The legal framework matter. And those are the things that matter the most. So what I see is people with this recycled conversation. Salute to all the brothers. I give them credit, for trying. Salute to all the Ask a Brother podcast brothers, the Dave Andersons, the Darwin, whatever. But for all these guys that are trying, I give you the utmost respect and credit. But unless you're going to be rolling men underneath the bus or delivering Russell Wilson, you're talking in the wind. Because here's what happens with these women. When you talk to them and have a conversation with them, they go to that phone and there's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever they go to. And they go listen to 100 videos of people telling them the opposite of what you just said, reaffirming their delusion and telling them what degenerates men are and why men are underperforming. And they already believe we've had 60, 70 years plus of the destruction of manhood and masculinity in this country. They're trying to make everybody soft, trying to tell women how great they are, trying to boost them up. Now social media is like the ultimate drug. And you think that they're going to listen to you trying to correct them for behaviors that they've fought hard for. They fought hard for sexual liberation. They had some type of penis envy back then. They wanted to be like men. Men didn't create that world. They didn't. Men did not create that world. Women wanted that. Women wanted to be like, men were like, hell no. We don't want women to be ran through. Nope. They say, no, we want to be like you. We should be able to sleep with whoever we want and have no negative effects, but we aren't the same. But they wanted that. They fought for that. They're not giving up any of the power that they have that are in the system that's been systematically given to them. They are not giving that up to be under your ecclesiastic relationships and whatever else, unless you're offering them some serious value, the Russell Wilson value. So let's move on from those types of mentality and mindsets and focus on what you need to have as a man in 2025 and beyond. Leverage, options about you and your life so that you can live the quality life, taking care of your health, taking care of your mental health. And I encourage the brothers many times to talk to my brothers, the kosher condition, if they're having any issues, mental health issues. It's about you. And that's what these guys don't understand. You notice that I'm not trying to give you a complete prescription for your life, because who the hell am I going to tell you, how to move as a man? I just fight for men to have the freedom to choose whichever life you decide you want to live. And anybody that wants to shame you is who I attack. Anyone who wants to shame you from living free in life and on your own terms is what I have a problem with. So that's where we're going right now. This is a huge circle to nowhere. Either pander or find some other solution. Because what's going on right now is a lot of people just talking in the wind, looking for likes and looking for to tack into the monetary profits of a female audience, but you can't do it without selling the men under the bus. That's the truth of the matter. You have to sell the men under the bus. And a guy like me would rather delete this YouTube channel than sell men under the bus, telling lies. Now, I'll crack the whip. I'll dig into their ass about being, if you were unmotivated bum, I'm gonna dig into you, but I ain't gonna sell you under the bus for no women subscribers or no women views. I'll talk to you directly to man. I ain't gonna be out here trying to pander to women and pander to men, period. But we seem to have a problem where people are so thirsty for this YouTube supremacy and whatever else that they will sell their soul. These grifters will sell their soul, sell men out, turn on anybody just to get some YouTube views. Anyhow, peace and blessings to you guys. I'm about to hit the gym, do my self-development process of the day. The market's open at 9:30. Like I say, for you young brothers, especially the ones in the community, if you are a squared away young brother, you speak not using N-bombs in every sentence, and you have your life together, you're not interested in crime and anything else, or you're not interested in living in matriarchal culture and being attached to that type of nonsense, get the hell out of that community. Leave. Get around different environment where there's a more patriarchal, masculine environment. I don't care what you have to do. But at the end of the day, if you want to be like some dude, that has been totally emasculated in a matriarchal structure and you don't reach your full potential, then you stay around there. But other than that, get out of that environment. We talk about the young brothers learning financial education, working on your self-esteem, getting the necessarily counseling because you've been set up to failure. They've robbed you of your father. They're using the system and they're using the state. And I feel bad for the young brothers because a lot of them have been robbed of their fathers. And that's a shame. And that's something that has to be corrected going forward. But I can only work on and concentrate on the young men themselves because you can reach men. You can reach men because they feel the pain every day and live in the real world. And people think I'm more into the dating relationship thing, but I come more from a crisis intervention background. That's where I come from. I don't give a rat's ass about these 304s or, preparing men for marriage and bullshit. I'm preparing you to win as an individual. And you reach excellence on your stuff and you determine what you want to do with your life. But the goal is stronger men, more confident men, more free men. And that's what I'm interested in. Not some teaching you how to get some old pre-owned used box. If that's your goal in life, Jesus, I can't help you, man. Anyhow, peace and blessings to you guys. I'm out. I'm about to hit the gym. If that's your only goal in life, you can accomplish that with $50. I'm out. Make sure you hit the like button.